Hello, my Geminis. Welcome to your Pick a Turkey reading, where we're going to be asking the question, what can we grow through gratitude? You're going to have a choice of 3 different turkeys, and you can choose, of course, as many as you want. There's no limit. So we'll have turkey number 1, which is going to be like this artistic turkey, turkey number 2, which is like a cartoon turkey, and turkey number 3, which is the black and white turkey. If you chose number 1, then I'll start that right away. If you chose number 2 or number 3, the timestamps will be in the description box below. And of course, you can choose as many turkeys as you want. So we're going to go ahead and jump into turkey number 1. All right, if you chose turkey number 1, my Geminis, then this is your reading. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Wild Unknown archetype deck. And what this will represent is what can you have gratitude for? And we'll look into what will grow from that. So for our Geminis that chose reading or turkey number 1, turkey reading number 1, what do you want them to know about what they can be grateful for, or what gratitude they can focus in on? All right, this is the one that is wanting to speak, and you've got the sword. So I love this. Has very much the sword in the tarot energy about it, which for me is this power of truths coming in, as well as your ability to cut away those things that no longer serve you. And I love this kind of yin-yang type of symbolization here too. But let's take a look here and see what... There it is. Boom. Almost right to the page. So this is the knife, the blade, the weapon. And it says to use the sword is to decide. The blade separates one reality from another. The choice is made and all else falls away. If you find the sword in your grasp, you can no longer hesitate. This weapon requires a clear and decisive mind and a willingness to act. An onlooker may think the sword bearer is hasty and violent, but the most compassionate and responsible gesture is one that is honest, swift, and accurate. Our first encounter with the sword is at birth, when the cord we share with the mother is cut. This moment defines our separation from her and begins our journey of becoming ourself. We must make these cuts again and again if we are to grow. Decisions shape our life, and the sword is an infinite shaper of destiny. I love it. And this talks about boundary making, prioritizing, and clarifying are all gestures made possible by the sword. The sword is a metaphor for the pen and the brush, the artist's fierce and graceful tools. It says, contemplate the Buddhist philosophy of the first and second arrow. Swing the sword once with precision and commitment. More than that will be painful for everyone involved. Almost it feels like this, the Band-Aid, right? If you slowly rip the Band-Aid off and take your time and just go, it's like a long, slow, torturous, painful experience. Whereas if you just go, whoosh, it's done and over with, and they can move on from that painful experience, right? Because when you're in the light of this energy, you're cutting through to what's essential. When you're in the shadow side of this, then you're hasty, you're backstabbing. It's a dull and painful blade. And to go deeper into this energy, it suggests going into Marina Abramovic's Rhythm series and Caravaggio's Judith beheading Holofernes. It's Holofurnes. In here, let me just show you in case I totally mispronounced those on the bottom there. But I love this because the gratitude is the ability to end things, the ability to be the one and have the strength and the grace to end the things that no longer serve you. And I know, one of the hardest things is to be the one to end a relationship, to be the one to leave a company, to be the one, to leave a town or a home or, those things, to be the one to initiate the endings in order to bring the new beginnings. It takes bravery, and we don't, no one wants to be blamed for the ending of things, but unfortunately, sometimes we have to be the adult, right? And this gratitude for your ability to end things is what is going to allow you growth in certain areas of your life, so that you always have a choice. And I feel like that is what the gratitude is for, is thankfulness and gratitude for your power of choice, that you never have to do anything you don't want to do. You never have to remain anywhere you don't want to remain. Yes, you get to deal with the, results of your decisions, but if you always are the one that can make the choice of what those decisions mean about you, then you're good, right? When we stop putting all the strength and power in other people's opinions that they give us, when we realize we don't have to take on everyone's opinions as our own, that we can stand with our sword of truth drawn here, and when someone throws an opinion at us that doesn't match up to what we the story we want to apply to the situation, we can chop suey, and it doesn't need to be taken on for ourselves. So let's look in here a little more. We're going to build a card turkey as we're going, and so this is going to be the body, and these crystal medicine oracle, this is going to be the head. And yes, I know it's going to be a big head. Just pretend like the turkey's face is closer to you, so the body seems smaller, far away. It's not going to be a perfect turkey, but it's going to kind of look like one, maybe. All right, Creator. For our Geminis that chose turkey number 1, what medicine do you want them to know that can help them with this beautiful growth? Okay. So the one on the bottom is the one that's calling out. And you have ancestor healing. I love that. And you have the tree is your is part of the medicine, as well as the crystal of amber. And you've got number 1. So I like that, this new start, which makes total sense. When you're cutting away things that no longer serve you, then you are definitely have this new start energy, this new, rebirth energy that comes. And, I love this too, that the stuff that we can cut away, this ancestral healing really has this beautiful energy about it. Like this is your family tree. And this is saying that when you understand that you have the power to choose what anything means, what story you apply to anything, what emotion you choose to apply to any situation, you get to be the destroyer, like this knight, whether you're male or female or however you identify, you're this mighty, powerful knight that gets to come in and cut away old chains, cut away old cycles that no longer serve. And it will not only impact you and not only impact your family tree, because as you break chains, you set other people free. Even people that are outside your family tree will witness this brave act and will join the cause to break chains of the past that no longer serve as well. Now, this card says we hold and carry the lessons and wisdom of our family in our blood and bones, and it's held deeply within our DNA. Tribes from the beginning of time would pray for the 7 generations, both past and present, to assist them in healing the bloodline. I love that. Just as we have our own karma to balance and our own lessons to learn, we also hold and carry those of our ancestors. Patterns and unresolved physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual issues that can be handed down through the family line. This medicine is a strong sign you are currently undergoing some powerful healing related to your ancestors. Pulling this card can represent that the current challenges in your life could be directly linked to your family and your family's karma. All the wisdom that your ancestors have discovered also runs deep within your bones. It is time for you to bring awareness to your current challenges, as there is a large possibility they could be hereditary. Once you understand and discover the roots of this karma, deep healing will begin. Your ancestors are always with you, looking out for you, guiding and loving you from the other side. And they are here today to let you know you are not alone. If you've been thinking about a certain family member that's passed, this can be a sign they are with you as well. And I love this because, the sword also, that brings you like truth and knowledge. And so there's like this dual, it's, two sides of a sword, right? There's the one that's cutting away those things that no longer serve your family and your lineage, right? But it's also bringing in the knowledge and the wisdom that's been gleaned from the ancestors of the past as well. Let's talk about the medicine of the tree here. It says trees are another power medicine of earth, and our connections run deep. We'd not be able to breathe, of course, and exist on earth if it was not for our interconnectedness with trees. They are the guardians of the land, and they have a spirit and consciousness that is very much alive. Trees also hold the wisdom and stories of our ancestors. The Druids understood the magic of the trees and worked powerfully with them. Each tree has its own energy or medicine that, when understood, can be utilized for healing on many levels. Trees are also the vortex by which to travel to the shamanistic energy worlds, allowing us with intention and spiritual practice to enter into the lower, middle, and upper worlds. When we pass, we dissolve back into the earth with all our memories and knowledge. The roots of the trees are in the earth, so by connecting to the trees, we connect to the ancient wisdom of our ancestors. Beautiful. And then the crystal amber, of course, is the blood of a tree and connects us to the blood of our ancestors. It draws out disease from the body and also invokes wisdom. So if you work with your crystals and stuff, amber is definitely will help you with this journey that you're on here. All right, next we're going to pull some cards here from these Everyday Tarot. And these are going to be the feathers upon the body of the turkey here. We're just going to see what else the creator wants you to know about this growth with this gratitude. Okay, creator what? Okay, there we go. What else? All right. Those came out quickly, which is awesome. So we'll start with these three first. And you've got the Five of Pentacles. And the Five of Pentacles is this, Pentacles are your outside world and your kind of your worth that you define yourself by the outside world. And this has this energy of feeling alone, of feeling like you're lacking, that you, are having these losses. You're and like it's very much the strong for this reading. It's that you feel very alone, you feel very abandoned, you feel like you have so much missing from your life, of a big lack feeling. But it also brings this message of, see how the universe even has this, is upon this cloak. These are the stars of the universe. You can even look at this as your ancestors and all those beings of unconditional love and light on the other side. But all our abundance does come from the Creator. It doesn't come from the world. And when we look at the world as our source of abundance, we can feel like afraid there's not going to be enough. Especially in times that are going on right now, it's like there's not enough for everyone to go around. There's not all this. But when we realize that the Creator is who brings us our abundance, and the world is just the middleman that brings it to us. When you realize that, and you know that you're cloaked and you're protected, and from the universe, from the Creator of all things, then you have this wonderful feeling of not being alone. But we come here to experience what it might feel like to be separated. So, know that this dark side of this card, we came here to experience your shadow side. But if you're ready and you don't want to feel that way anymore, and you're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, or tired of feeling lonely or feeling like you're lacking, then you have this ability to cut away those old beliefs, those small T truths in your life, and really connect to these higher T truths that you're never alone, that you are powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. And this new moon on the card is about this newness coming. This number 1 on this card is about this new beginning, this new awareness of your life, this new empowered life that you can obtain. But it's about facing this belief, bringing it to the surface and letting it go. It no longer serves you, right? Yeah, because then you have the 6 of Cups. And cups are all about your emotions. And this is kind of like considered the nostalgia card. It's looking back over your past, which makes total sense with this ancestral healing. This might even go back, generations, right? It's like, here's 1 generation, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like it said in there, there's 7 generations represented, right? And this is about understanding the emotional chalice that has been passed down from generation to generation. Understand the emotions that you feel. Understand, this feeling of lack and is something that has been passed down from generation to generation, right? And if you hear the trash truck coming, it's like, yeah, it's time to take out the trash, right? Those things that no longer serve you, that are sitting in your kitchen trash can, it's like you're not going to eat it anymore. It's done. It's time to take that out. That's kind of what I feel with that trash truck coming by at that exact moment. And it's all these things, these emotions about family, ancestry, and these patterns that have been handed down from generation to generation. It's time for those to leave and be taken out and to be transformed for the future and generations to come. And those can be things like, of course, there are, abuses that have been passed down because when you are abused as a child, you tend to carry on that abuse because that's all you knew and that's part of your makeup, unless you take the time and take the energy to break that cycle. And so there's some, whether it's some sort of physical abuse or sexual abuse or abuse of alcohol or drugs or anything like that have been passed down from generation to generation, you can be the one to break that. If it's even a belief system of some sort that's been in generation to generation and it's like no longer serving you, you're like, you know what, I don't believe that anymore. I want to branch out, get out of that box and expand my spirituality. Or if it's being part of the family business from generation to generation, or even the same type of occupation, like, well, everyone always goes in the military, or everyone always goes into the police department, everyone always goes in the fire department, or is an accountant, or is in the medical field, or is a lawyer, or blah, 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 right? It's like you can be the one to break these cycles and stop these emotions, stop handing that from generation to generation. So that's what I feel this card means for this reading. Yeah, because here's the 10 of Pentacles, which here's the tree of life. And I always talk about the breaking of ancestral for this. This is so perfect for what we're talking about here. And 10 of Pentacles is this blessing. It is the legacy card. So this is definitely the confirmation of everything we just been talking about, that you get to make changes that not only impact you, but impact generations to come, and other people around you, like we talked about. So that's exactly the card I was thinking about when I was talking about all this, and boom, there it is. All right, yep, because here you have the Magician. So you're the powerful one that can make things happen. I mean, you can see the infinity symbol here. This is your infinite self, your powerful self. You have the ability to bring down that amazing healing energy of heaven and bring it down into the earth. You have everything. You've got all 4 suits here in front of you. You've got your cups for the emotional strength. You've got your Ace of Swords here, what we talked about already. You've got the Ace of Wands, which is your spark and your drive and your spiritual energy. And you have the Pentacles, for your opening up the possibilities, opening up, seeing all those things. All these are the aces of each of those decks, and they are all appearing there, giving you that power to, make these changes, to initiate all this beautiful restarts and new starts within your life in every area, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. So beautiful, beautiful energy here for you. You are the magician. You're the wizard. You're the powerful one. Yeah. And here you go. Knight of Wands. So Wands is the energy. They're holding that, the wand there. They're the ones of action. So this is about putting all that magic into action. Now is the time to make that movement, to take charge on things. I even mentioned that you're the noble knight, right? That is coming in to bring those changes and make those changes. So here you are on your horse, like I was talking about. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then what we're going to do in the final piece is we're going to add a beak here to the turkey through the Sacred Creator Oracle. So we're going to pull 2 cards and to see what the final message the Creator has for you. All right, Creator, what's your final message for our Geminis that chose the first turkey? There's your beak. Gobble, gobble. Okay, your first card is the good kind. I love that. And that's card number 35. And then you also have raw intention. And that is card number 22. And we will see here. Let me read card number 22 first. And so raw intention is the energy around this. It says intention brought to life, wild power, powerful inspiration, channeling messages from source. So really, this power of the magician and this action of the Knight of Wands, bringing that fire energy in. I love that. The self-care message that stands out in here is the getting stuck in our story. So the story that we've been taught, that story that's been passed down from generation to generation gets to stop. Because that's that self-care, because that story no longer serves your purposes. And it goes on to say here, intention can be raw or it can be refined. Refined intention gets polished and perfected and turned into marketing, a resume, a vision board. And it's always tinted by layers of our own perception. Raw intention is wilder than that. It's pure, unrefined, and authentic. It's the mother who lifts a car with her bare hands to save her child, because raw power does not ask questions. It just does. And so it is. By virtue of simply being human, you have this wild and natural magic side, right? Magic inside you. And you may be spending too much time filtering your raw power as a way to fit in or as a way to be who others want you to be. Unleash your pure intention, and you will radiate so much innate magic that you'll move mountains. Allow spontaneity and divine love to guide you, and pay attention to whim, desire, inclination, and impulse. If you notice any unwanted emotion surfacing like anger and sadness or fear or guilt, simply be with them. Hear them, notice them. Ask them why they're present, and they will likely point to a much deeper need that sounds something like, I am seen, I am loved, I am accepted, I am safe. Remind yourself that you are all of these things and draw your power from there. Again, it says, I am seen, I am loved. I am accepted. I am safe. And they give you questions that can help as well. It says, what are your wild and unkempt intentions calling into your life? What needs to be heard? And can you work with them mindfully to build the life of your dreams? One way of channeling raw intentions is to do a little automatic writing. Ask your question to the universe and set with an open mind, a blank page, and a curious heart. Allow messages from the unconscious mind to flow onto your page. Just write or doodle and shift. Beautiful. So yeah, definitely this is, these intentions, this raw intention, allowing it to flow out. And then you have the good kind here, which is card number 35. And this is bringing love and kindness to your situations, acting from the heart, finding joy in the simple pleasures of life, seeking simplicity and goodness in your solution. And the self-care message is spending time defining the good you bring into the world. This need to stop judging and accepting others as they are, being the change. I love that, being the change, right? It says, sweet spirit, why are you working so hard? Really, what do you hope to gain in your current situation? Money, security, notoriety, love, acceptance, worthiness, growth? What are you working to find? Alongside whatever word your subconscious mind served up for you, add these two words, goodness and kindness. Allow these good old-fashioned vibrations to cut through the fog of your worries and let them lead you as you do the work. We get a massive energetic upgrade when we witness and partake in simple, virtuous gestures. And we undervalue them all the time. Allow them to be an important part of the solution. Goodness asks you to seek simple joys, to unplug and to do something because it's the right thing to do, not because of what you will gain. Kindness asks you to help someone out just because. To look at potential instead of just flaws. To listen with an open heart, to witness without judgment. Modern society can often paint these virtues as naive, superficially light and love, or even insincere, but whoa, my goodness, genuine goodwill and selflessness always open the most rewarding doors. Try some good and kind on for size, because they may be way more fresh and alive than you remember, and they are always the good kind of undertaking. And the questions for this card are, how can you lift yourself by lifting others? It's time to do the work, the good work. What does that mean to you? How can you shift focus from the metrics, the tech, the marketing, the drama, and the complex, and find a simple option that is rooted in kindness and goodness? So yeah, definitely. I love these clarifications for you too, just with all of this beautiful energy that's coming. A wonderful, wonderful healing of ancestral patterns is just gushing out of this here, and you have the power and you are noble. So I am so excited for this energy that's coming around, and that with your gratitude and thankfulness for this power that you hold and that you are attaching to, that you can grow so much healing, not just for yourself and your family tree, but for so many generations, because you do have this legacy card here, which means what you're going to do will impact generations to come. So I love this, I love this, I love this. I'm going to leave the reading at that. And just know as you're going through every second of every day that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And I love you too. You have an amazing Thanksgiving type of time here. And I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon. You take care now. All right, Geminis, if you chose tricky number 2, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Wild Unknown archetype cards. And these are going to represent what you can be grateful for, and then we'll see how that allows something to grow in your life. All right, Creator, for the Geminis that chose tricky number 2, what is it that you'd like to let them know about gratitude? What can they be grateful for? Okay. Love it, love it. Grateful for yourself. The self, yeah. And I love this, your higher self, right? This beautiful, powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being that you really are. And I love that it brought this up. Let's take a look here. Let's see, that is number 29. Okay. That will be this way. XXX. Yeah, there we go. Brushing up on my Roman numerals. Yay. So this is the soul, the witness, the watcher, exactly as we were talking about. So it says the self is the prism that allows the spectrum of our personalities to radiate. It does not judge, prohibit, suppress, or oppress any of its parts, as it lovingly knows that all aspects have a time and a place, and leads us to experience the full breadth of life's offerings. The self is the central abiding container, the awareness of the infinite universe of possibilities. And when this card appears, it's a call to step back into witness consciousness, to observe yourself navigating the world. Ask yourself, am I the stew or am I the chef? In most situations, our ego draws us into the cauldron where we swirl and spin and smolder in chaos. Yet the self is a graceful culinary dancer, watching, waiting, observing, as the spectrum of the ingredients become the flavor of our life. Look in the mirror for 30 seconds or more. Attempt to see the you behind the you. And if this card is perplexing for you, you're on the right track. It challenges us to expand our sense of identity beyond the little self, and the ego resists such movement. The ego likes to remain important, right? The most important is what it wants. It says it's no surprise that 2 central mantras in the yoga tradition concern themselves with the self. So experiment with Soham, it's S-O-H-A-M, which means I am that, and Satnam, which is S-A-T-N-A-M, which is true identity. I love those. So if you look into those yoga mantras, those can also help you on this journey. Because when you're in the light side of this energy, you're witnessing, you're accepting new aspects of yourself. But when you're in the shadow energy of the selves, you feel disjointed and fatigued, diffused of energy and purpose. And to go deeper into this energy, you can watch Robert Bly, which is B-L-Y, read Kabir's poem. Kabir is K-A-B-I-R, and the poem is This Clay Jug. So I love that. So definitely this gratitude for that you are more than just this human side. You are more than just this character that you're playing upon the earth. You're this mighty, powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love, actor behind this character on the earth. So this is your higher self. And yeah, definitely gratitude and connection, that you can connect to your higher self while you're in this body and in this life. You don't have to wait to pass away to reconnect with your higher self. You can connect with your higher self now, here in this physical plane, and join together. And I love too, there's this beautiful, it mentions that it doesn't reject any part of itself. And our shadow, our ego, this human side of us, this fight or flight mode, individual within our psyche and our bodies, that is a part of us. And so, when we get into spirituality, sometimes we get this like, we must kill the ego and destroy it. It must be destroyed. It's evil. And it's like, no, this is the brave part of ourself that chose to detach itself from, realizing how powerful we are, to experience what it might feel like to be small so we can understand our greatness, to feel sadness so we can understand our joy, to experience darkness so we can understand what our light really is. And so it's the brave little piece of ourselves, like our little superhero, and we can embrace that and give it the love and support that it needs, right? So I really love that piece about this card as well. So we're going to build a card turkey. This is going to be the body of the turkey, and then these crystal medicine oracle cards are going to be the head of the turkey. And the head is pretty big, but just realize it's a perspective thing. The body's further away, the head is closer. That's why it seems bigger. It's not going to be a perfect turkey, but if you use your imagination, you'll see the turkey. All right, so creator, for our Geminis that chose turkey number 2, what medicine do you want them to know can help them with the growth from this gratitude? What can help them? What do you want them to know about medicine? Okay. I guess that's the one, huh? And you've got rebirth. Love it. Spring is the medicine, and Shiva Lingam, I guess, just to make sure you can see that crystal, that rock. That's probably what it looks like right there. And it's card number 21. So let's see what this is, which makes total sense, this with this connection to yourself and this gratitude for your ability to do so. It expands and allows you to definitely have this rebirth into that. It's like this hybrid is the word that they're using. You're not just this human anymore. You're this enhanced hybrid human, because your higher self is walking with you in life now as you connect and have this stronger relationship with it. It says, you've called this card today as confirmation that you're currently undergoing a time of rebirth. This is an opportunity for you to shed your old skin, your old ways that are no longer serving you, and a time to birth deeper aspects of yourself. This is a natural part of life when the old is no longer required and an opportunity is offered for you to birth into a new state of being or consciousness, like we were talking about. Do you feel like the universe has pulled the carpet from under you and all you used to know is no longer working? Is there a dead end at every turn? Are you being challenged by situations and people around you? Are you experiencing a stirring inside and noticing that your tolerance level has decreased? These are all signs that a rebirth is in order. It can be uncomfortable when you're encouraged to let go of aspects of yourself you may have thought kept you safe. You're encouraged to trust in the guidance of your own soul and surrender to a deeper sense of yourself as you fall into the fire and rise from the ashes. It's a powerful time in your life, so make sure to honor yourself in this sacred time of expansion and growth. Be still, listen to your gut instincts, and follow the path of your heart, even if it scares you. Make sure to listen to your own wisdom and dance to the beat of your own drum. I like it. And then the medicine of spring. Spring is the season between, of course, winter and summer, when the weather starts to warm up and things come to life. Animals wake from their slumber, and the plants and flowers start to grow and blossom again. Spring offers the energy of new beginnings and rebirth, when the seeds of intention you've planted throughout the year start to manifest and come to fruition. Many religions celebrated and worship this time as a sign of rebirth, resurrection, and new beginnings. It's time to spring into spring and wake from your sleep as you create your heart's desire and rebirth more aspects of yourself. So yeah, definitely this connection to yourself just expands your life. And this crystal, the Shiva Lingam, is associated with rebirth. It expands self-awareness, and it will assist you to shed your old skin. So I think that is perfect for these are definitely go very well together. And then we're going to pull some cards here from this Everyday Tarot. And these are going to be the feathers on top of the body of the turkey here. That's just what else the creator wants you to know about this growth, this gratitude. I'm just going to move a little this way. Here we go. All right, creator, what else do you want our Geminis that shows turkey number 2 to know about this growth? Yep, and then you have the little extra one. So you have the High Priestess, which makes total sense. The High Priestess is all about connecting to the unknown, the subconscious. She's the, connects to the moon energy, that's down here. And of course, it's about the gut, her intuition, connecting to the higher places, going beyond this veil behind here, connecting to the higher self. So I'm totally not surprised that she has shown up, because this is your energy and your ability to connect to your higher self and all those beings of unconditional love and light that are on the other side. So it is about expanding your relationship with the higher realms. So not surprised. Then you have the Three of Wands. Wands is your fire energy. It's your spiritual energy. And it also is like your drive, your ambition, your aha inspiration. The Two of Wands is about making plans on where you're directing your drive and where you're directing, that spark within you, that what you're inspired to head toward. The Three of Wands is you've reached that point and you've made progress in your spiritualness, is what I'm really feeling for this reading. And the with the three being a creative ways too, your creativity is expanding, and you're also looking at reevaluating what your plans were. So especially as you're looking into this rebirth, when we're just in more influenced by our human side, we have all these plans based on fear. All these should be, supposed to be, need to be's, all these expectations from the outside world. It's like our dreams are handed to us going, this is your dream. And you're like, oh, it is? Oh, okay, thanks. And so you make plans to try to make that dream come true, but there's not a whole lot of passion behind it, because it's not your dream, it's someone else's dream for you. But when you're connecting to your higher self, you're connecting to your higher love, your higher wisdom, your higher knowledge, then your world literally changes before you, and you identify what your dream is, how you want to uniquely express unconditional love to the world, and then you have this alteration of your plans. You're going to do something different. And so that is what this card is bringing you there. Yeah, because here you have choices. The Chariot here really is this card of power of choice. You get to decide where you go and what you do. It's a beautiful balance between your human side and your higher self. Both, you can, like I was talking about, walking hand in hand together is this hybrid. That's kind of what these are too, right? They're cats and pharaohs, or sphinxes, I think is what they're supposed to be, but they're a hybrid, a of two things joined together. And you have the support of the universe above you. You have your magic wands, and you get to choose how you are wanting to move forward. And so this would mean movement, putting spark and pizzazz, behind these plans here. So definitely that's what this is meaning for me, for you. With that one, yeah. And here's the King of Wands. Wands, again, are your spiritual energy. And for me, this is also like the self. This is your soul, because this is your higher self, your spirit. The highest spiritual energy you can achieve is being your true self, your higher self. So this is just you making yourself known here. But you also are able to, with that beautiful drive that the King of Wands has, you can pinpoint and make decisions and lead, with this Chariot energy. Actually, I'm going to put them over here too, because it's beautiful energy together, because it's about taking charge of your life, about focusing and paying attention to where you're investing your energy. Are you investing energy in things that no longer serve you and what you don't want? Like that dream that's not yours. You get to pull back all this energy that's invested in all this stuff everyone else wants you to do and thinks you're supposed to do or should do, or you have to do it or you need to do it. All that is opinion, and you don't have to have that opinion be your opinion. When you identify this new course of action, this new direction you want to go, you get to withdraw that energy in and super focus all that in a direction. That means fast movement with this Chariot, movement towards that dream, where before you might have been feeling stagnant, and it's because you don't have passion for those things, because it's not what you really want. Yeah. Then you have Page of Pentacles. Beautiful. So there's two messages with this. One, pages are messengers. And so this is that you're going to be receiving messages from the external world, because Pentacles is about like the external world. So you're going to be seeing signs and confirmations and getting messages from the outside world regarding all this, because especially as the High Priestess and you're connecting to your higher self, when you ask questions, when you ask for guidance, for validation, for, like I said, signs and wonders, you're going to see them, because these messages are coming for you, from them through the outside world to you. So pay attention. Conversations that other people are having you over here, or something that pops up on social media, or something that comes in the mail. It's like an advertisement and a sentence jumps out to you or something. Pay attention, because there's messages coming for you. The other side of this, the page, is also like child energy, like young child energy. And it's this newness. It's like a rebirth of sorts, because it reminds us of the energy that we had when we were children, before we got all those opinions, flooding us, suppressing us, bursting our bubble. Like, I want to do this. And they're like, psh, that's not going to work out. You need to be an accountant, or you want to be, you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer, it's like, but I want to be a clown, it's like those dreams that are busted. Before all that happens, as a child, you just feel like there's all these possibilities. There's all this beautiful things that can unfold, right? And so that's what this energy is returning to as well. It brings in this, instead of feeling so narrow on how you can get somewhere, you're allowing yourself to see that there's so many different possibilities and so many different ways that it could come. And then your extra card, we're going to make this the little jiggly thing that hangs under the chin. And you have the Nine of Cups, which is wishes fulfilled. Emotion. Cups are emotions, so you just feel so complete and whole and full, and that totally makes sense, because as you connect to your higher self, you get flooded with all that unconditional love, and what you've been searching for all your life in the outside world that has been disappointing you find within you. So you feel whole and complete. You're living your dream and you're moving toward it. All this beautiful energy. So it's like, yeah, you feel like, this is like the life I've always wanted, you know, and it's like that feeling that comes from all that because of that connection. Instead of everything you're doing falling short of all these dreams that everyone else is wanting you to try to pursue, when you feel whole and complete already, all that action and energy and stuff you were doing now becomes extra. So now instead of feeling like you're lacking and you're failing, you feel whole and complete, and everything you're doing is extra and abundance instead. And that's that feeling that comes with that card there. And then what we're going to do, the last two cards are going to be the beak of the turkey. And for that, we're going to take two cards here from the Sacred Creator's Oracle. And just see what the final two messages are for you. All right, Creator, what is your final message for our Geminis that shows turkey number 2? This one and this one. Okay. So your first message is the now. That's perfect. I love that. That's card number 47. And then the other one is the sacred flow of yes. So card number 30. So I love the now and the flow, going with the flow. And I love the now because, you know, what I really feel for that before I read from the book, it's this, when you are trying to live someone else's dream, you're trying to get that completed and get it done so you know that you're lovable and acceptable and you won't be rejected by that other person because that person has you under this timeline of all these things need to happen by this time and you know, oh my gosh. That just feels like so much, right? When you come back to the living your dream, you're enjoying the process of it unfolding. You're not looking to get to the end of your dream and have your dream end. You're not in this rush to get to the end when you're connected with yourself, because your higher self is eternal. There's no rush. When you're in your fear ego, they're all about this time is temporary. There's a countdown happening and it's rush, 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 rush. So it's always talking about, look how you failed in the past and look what happened in the past. And oh my God, that's going to happen in the future. It doesn't want you to be in the now, because when you're in the now and you're in this connection to yourself, you feel this abundance, you feel whole and complete, and you enjoy investing energy into the moment. You're enjoying what you're doing and you're paying attention to what you're doing. You're not focusing on the next thing. What's the next thing? I got to get to the next thing. It's not a rush to the next. It's enjoying what you are working on right now. So it says time is always on your side. The universe has brought you right here, right now. So be here now. Nothing else is tangible. You cannot change the past, and you can only change the future by making changes today. Your now is always the only moment when you can actively inspire change. So go ahead and hunker down and take a moment to enjoy a few full deep breaths. Notice the wonderful life you've already started creating. Yes, and trust that you have all the time you need. When you stop seeing time as something to work against, change can happen in the blink of an eye. Things shift quickly when you're aligned with the divine, right? Aligned with the divine. Your miracle will flow into your life in perfect arrangement, so begin to act in a way that shows trust in its arrival. Bathe your present day in the experience of your success instead of looking to the far-off future to finally realize your dream. And they have some questions to ask here, but they're reminding me of the, you know, at one point, a couple points in my life, you know, you have the time or the inclination to go, what is my dream? What do I want to be when I grow up, right? And a time that it happened to me, I, you know, was in my ego, and it was like, you know, the creator, I was sitting going, okay, I want to go through this rebirth, and what do I want to achieve? What am I going to focus all my energy in? And so I'm like, okay, what do I want to be? What does success mean to me? And I'm like, okay, I want to be like a you know, best-selling author and someone who goes around and, all the spiritual, stuff, all these beautiful, popular individuals that have brought us such beautiful messages, like, oh yeah, that's what it means to be successful, is to write books and to be talking to a lot of people and impacting lives and boo, 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 boo. And the creator goes, okay. And then they took me in my mind's eye way up into the future where I was, where a future where all that had come true. And they're like, okay, are you happy now? And I'm like, sitting in that, I was like, no, I'm looking at what's next. Okay, I did that. Well, okay, now what I need to do. And so it was this beautiful message, like it just said in here. It's, if I'm not happy now in this moment, what am I going to be happy then? If I'm not appreciating what I have in my life right now, am I going to appreciate it when I'm there then? No, there's always going to be something. So that's when my dream changed to all that, to be here now with the creator. And so that, when that be here now is like that, make that your dream. You can still have a goal to head toward, but be here now with the creator. And that's that beautiful place, be here with your higher self, that connection to the other world. And there's nothing else we really need. Everything else is just extra. Then we can enjoy each moment as we're walking, instead of being at this rapid pace trying to get to the end of something. So the questions for this card, it's like, what's going on right now for you with time? This card in your spread indicates that there is an imbalance. Are you always running late? Or always feeling the pressure to speed up your life? Are you hoping for more time and feeling a lack of it? How is your relationship to time? If you started paying attention to the now, how would your life improve? What can you do to support divine timing and to notice a lot more of your present? Yeah, beautiful messages. Definitely bringing you to this beautiful place where love exists in this moment. And then, definitely the sacred flow of yes. So this one, have you ever noticed how happy, optimistic people have all the luck? And how the haves keep winning at bingo while the have-nots just keep encountering barrier after unfortunate barrier on their path? Like a stream of helpful energy, the sacred flow of yes is being where you're meant to be. When you're on the right wave, you're on it. You are so completely enveloped in your right vibe that it's practically whooshes everything you need right into your lap. It brings a whole lot of easy flow. Yes to a new contract. Yes to a better price. Yes to a dinner date. It's time to act like water and flow around any problems you may be experiencing. You may be forcing your way upstream right now and stubbornly pushing into a dam that's meant to guide you towards a more prosperous path. Since I know you're not a salmon, there's no need to be swimming into headwaters right now. Instead, flow around the gates of not yet by finding the path of least resistance. The sacred flow of yes is like a river. So remember that rocks are only put in your way as markers meant to nudge you towards your simple solution, not as challenges meant to be dominated or controlled. And the questions for this card are, is there something you're being stubborn about? No way. What are you forcing instead of going around? What new skills could you acquire to help you level up and get above those barriers? Are you seeing challenges in life as failures when they are really just lessons and guideposts? The universe has a big sacred flow of yes for you. If you could let go of one thing that would make life easier, what would it be? Beautiful. I love this for you. Definitely a very flowing, peaceful, beautiful, but moving, moving type of life here. So when you're going with the flow, you're not standing still in the middle of the river. You're going with the flow. You're not trying to swim and resist it. You're going in the direction and flowing around and flowing down towards your dream, because your dream is downstream. It's not upstream where everyone's telling you to go, right? So beautiful. I am loving this for you. I'm going to leave this here. Just know as you're going through each and every moment of every day that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. Enjoy this beautiful growth through gratitude, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon. You take care now. All right, my Geminis, if you chose turkey number 3, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Wild Unknown archetype. And this is just going to show you what the Creator wants you to know that you can be grateful for. What gratitude can be expressed. And then we'll look at what grows from that. Right, Creator, for our Geminis that chose turkey number 3, what would you like them to know? Okay, I said that one right there. You've got the dead end. Uh-oh, dun dun dun. And don't worry. Yeah, when we can be grateful for endings, then of course what grows from that is a new beginning. Definitely that's a no-brainer. I know that it's just harder to live sometimes. And but it definitely is this gratitude that there's some things that are ending in your life that or have ended in your life, and that switching that energy from feeling like something happened to you, really understanding that it happened for you in the bigger scheme of things, even though you can't see it yet, that'll allow this new growth and allow the new start to happen. Because when we hold on to the ending, it's like staying in a movie that has a 5-hour, when all the actors and all the producers and all the people that worked on the movie, all that stuff, when it goes, all those names and all those names and all those names, and it's like it keeps on going. And it's like a 2-hour movie having a 5-hour ending like that, and you're sticking around for it. It's like, nope, you're ready to leave the theater now. You don't have to wait to see if there's a teaser on it. There isn't one. Sometimes they'll throw a teaser at the very end. Like, no, there isn't one. It's time to let it go. And so when you're grateful for the ending, you're like, okay, I'm glad it ended. Now I'm going to go now. So this is the closed door, the final chapter, the impasse. So contrary to what its name implies, the dead end is very much alive. It's a force that stops us from moving forward as planned. It is thick, dense, uncompromising, a wall beyond all walls. With every bramble, thorn, and stone, it simply states, "No more, child. You've reached the last page of this chapter." It is natural to resist its very resistance and struggle, even harder to make our way, to prove our point, to hold on to what was. In this way, we fight with life itself. From a mythic perspective, the end you face is very much a beginning. There are doors opening all around you, just not the one you planned on walking through. If you're honest and courageous enough to accept, adjust, and adapt, the dead end becomes known as life's beginning. Yep. Not surprised there. So note that in most stories and movies, the moment the protagonist reaches the dead end, something riveting happens, and you are the protagonist. So yeah, like in the movie, it's like, oh no, there's no way. Okay, boom, something happens, right? So reflect on dead ends in your past that led to unimaginable wonders. The moment you accept the ending, a feeling of grace will arise. Doors begin to open, both inside and in the world. I love it. Because when you're in the light of this energy, you're in acceptance, you're in humility, you're in relief, and there's a reverence for change. When you're in the dark side of the energy, there's this inertia, this stuckness, tension, and unconscious gripping, holding on to something. And to go deeper into that energy, they mention you can look at Kenny Rogers' The Gambler and Donny Hathaway's Giving Up. So I love that. So yeah, not much more I need to go into with that, because I did talk about it in the beginning here. So definitely that gratitude for endings allows you to release those things that no longer serve you, and trust that the doors that are opening are what are best for you, even though they may not be what your ego wants, but your higher self and the whole posse of beings of unconditional love and light on the other side are already opening the doors based on what you wanted to experience while you were here. So, that's a beautiful, it's kind of like the Tower card in a way, where it's about things that were moved out of our life for us so that we can experience the things that we couldn't if that thing was still in our life. So everything happens for a reason, for a purpose, on purpose, right? So we're going to build a turkey with cards for this gratitude and thankfulness, because this is Thanksgiving month in the United States. So this is going to be the body of the turkey, and this is going to be the head. I know it's almost as big, but just pretend like the turkey's body is in the background and the head's closer. It's a perspective thing. It's not going to be the most beautiful turkey, but you can use your imagination. All right, creator for Geminis that chose turkey number 3. What do you want them to know about? What medicine can assist them with this dead end and new beginning? It's letting go of that movie and leaving the theater. There we go. Yeah, I just had that flash of, if you ever watched Ferris Bueller, he comes out in the end and goes, "What are you doing here? It's over. Go." And you have retreat. I love that. And then mountain is the medicine, as well as green calcite is the crystal medicine. Card number 24. I'm sorry, I didn't even hold it up that long, so you can see that. So let's see what energy comes with this, because this is what can help you grow through this ending here. So it says you've attracted this card into your awareness today, as it's now time to retreat. In the fast-paced world in which we live, it's easy to find yourself burnt out and experiencing mountains of stress, which can cause overload, exhaustion, anxiety, and depression. It's extremely important not to get caught up in the intensity of it all and take a step back and retreat. When you can give yourself time to stop, breathe, and be still, the opportunity will arise to rejuvenate your mind, your body, and spirit on a deep level. Are you burning the candle at both ends? Is the stress piling up in your life and making you feel overwhelmed? Are you burnt out and exhausted? Have you been wanting to go on that long-awaited holiday but never have the time? Whatever your circumstances, this card is highlighting now how important it is for you to retreat. It's time to fill your cup up again, recharge your batteries, and create some sacred time for you to ground and center yourself. Do whatever is required to allow yourself to feel vibrant and alive, allowing the life force energy to flow freely through you once again and leaving you inspired and motivated to take on the world. Like a mountain, it's time to be in the stillness and receive the nurturing medicine of your soul in this time of rest. And I love that. So definitely an ending has happened. And I don't, this is a general reading, but I really feel like with this card coming up, it means that a majority of you haven't taken time to, if it's a loss of someone out of your life, either by death or them leaving, you haven't taken time to grieve. You haven't taken time just to let that energy, feel your emotions and let that energy go so that you can move on to new things, or if it's the ending of a job or a disappointment in a relationship of some sort, or, whatever it might be that has ended in your life, you haven't taken the time to get alone cry if you need to cry, scream if you need to scream, throw something if you need to throw something. Whatever it is that you want, you need to express those emotions to let them flow, because there's like this dam that's happening. It's like this dead, like it's the dead end, it's like these energies and these emotions need to flow, but you've created a dam where it's not been able to do it, because you're like, not yet, I can't do it, I have to do this and this and this and this and this, and I can't let other people down, and I need to be strong for everyone else. And it's like, it's time for you now. It's time for you to, even if it's a day trip or a couple of hours away, whatever it needs to be, where you need to get away alone, and let those emotions flow and let those emotions out, so that you can bring in this rebirth. The mountain energy says there are hundreds of mountains on earth, and each has its own energy or spirit. They are the keepers of the land and hold within them the memories of ancient times. And when you take the time to be still and connect, you can feel their presence. The energy of the mountains is strong and sacred and can feed the soul when you allow yourself to be still enough to receive their medicine. Mountains have always been regarded as sacred beings and looked at as a symbol of the heavens, as they're close to the God source. Some Peruvian cultures believe the mountains once walked on the earth, and when you look closely at them, you can see faces in the rocks. Mountains certainly have a presence about them, and there's no doubt they emit a strong energy. So it's time for you to be your own mountain, to be still and reconnect. Beautiful. And then green calcite, of course, does assist in relaxation. It soothes the mind, the body, and the spirit, and it also nurtures the heart. So if you don't have green calcite, just looking at pictures of it can bring you that energy as well. Or if you're going to go on a retreat and you're going near mountains, find a crystal shop, see if they have a little piece of green calcite. You just never know until you try, right? Beautiful. So next we're going to pull some cards here from the Everyday Tarot. These are going to be the feathers on top of the turkey. And it'll be what else the creator wants you to know about this. Gratitude for the ending of things and the growth that will come from this rebirth. All right, creator, what else do you want our Geminis that chose turkey number 3 to know? Okay, there's 1, 2, okay, 3. It's this one and this one. Yeah, there you go. Kind of sums it up, don't it? Endings. For me, the 3 of swords. Swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations. And for me, it's the expectation card. And it represents the feeling of disappointment when we feel like, you've heard the song, the first cut is the deepest. It's when we feel the pain of where something that we wanted, some expectation, like it was talking about here, didn't turn out the way we wanted it to be, and we feel this prick in our heart of fear. Like, what does that mean about me? What does that mean about the world? What does that mean about my lovability and my acceptability? And this is an illusion of heartbreak. It's the card is brought forward for us to see that what we feel in our heart isn't our heart breaking, because our heart can't break. It's a mighty powerful being. Our heart is unbreakable. But what we feel in our heart is the prick of when we go into fear, when that fight or flight kicks in. So like when you get startled by something and you feel that and your heart drops and you feel a pinch, if you sit in that feeling and then you think of when you got betrayed by someone and you felt that, you're like, wait a minute, all this is that same feeling that I feel. It's the same. It might be more extreme or not, depending how scared you were, how startled that someone got you if they jumped out in a monster costume and you're like, oh my God, totally unexpected. That's what we feel. And it's we're fearing a social monster instead of a real monster. Like our body will go into fight or flight to protect us when it's, faces a saber-toothed tiger or a bear. It's something that can kill us, a real physical threat. It activates us to put us into fight or flight to save us. But when we face a social, imaginary monster, which is your actions, mean something about me, cheating on me means I'm not worthy and something's wrong with me, and everyone's going to think I'm an unworthy person, and I'm not going to be loved again, and blah, 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 blah. Fear, 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 when you feel all that. But when we are able to look beyond, these feelings, these expectations, when we're able to get calm and peaceful and step away from things, we start to see truth. When we step out of our fears and we start to question those beliefs, then that's when we understand more of what's really happening. We understand that other people's actions are because they're either of unconditional love or an act of fear, and it has nothing to do with us. It has to do with how they're perceiving themselves, what they're fearing, and if they're in fight or flight mode, they're not even thinking, because the blood has left their brain and they're in that run or fight mode, and all they're doing is fighting to be loved, and that makes people make decisions that aren't the most emotionally responsible, because all they're looking at is to survive. It's like when there's a fire in a building, everyone tries to get out, and some people crawl over top of each other trying to get out, and they're just in an animal mode. They're not even thinking from a loving point of view, going, everyone stay calm and walk out, and we'll all get out of here. If not, I'm in the back, I'll die, you guys live. It's like, no, every man for themselves, get out of my way. Or if someone's drowning and you go out to try to help them and they're panicking and they grab onto you and drag you underneath, or they are flailing their arms and they smack you, that's their acts of fear. They're not really personal. In the scheme of things, we'll understand that at some point. But this whole, this card coming up is about digging into an understanding that a heartbreak is a myth, and it can never be broken, and you can look into that. And here's the Knight of Pentacles. Pentacles is the outside world. The Knight is about movement in the outside world, but it's slow movement. Out of the 4 knights, it's the slowest moving one, because the other 3 are things that are not in the outside world. Swords are your thoughts and beliefs. Those can change and move very quickly. Thoughts we're being flooded constantly with thoughts. Cups are our emotions. Our emotions can change in a moment. Wands are our drive and ambition, and that can switch very quickly. But in the outside world, there's seasons, and there's a season for everything. There is movement in your life, but those changes on the inside will happen faster, and they'll eventually move to the outside world. So just know that the change starts within, and you won't see a lot of quick movement on the outside world, but there will be movement. It's just seasonal. There's a time to plant seeds. Takes months, 3 months of spring, 3 months of summer of growth, 3 months of autumn of harvest and things falling from the trees, and 3 months of winter where things deteriorate and soak into the ground to prepare for the new spring. There's a process and a season of how things unfold, and so just know that there's a season for everything. Even with endings and new beginnings, there's always a winter and a spring, right? Yeah, and you have the 2 of Cups here. So the 2 of Cups for me, it's a general reading, so of course this can be a new relationship, a higher movement into a higher place in a relationship, but there's a special spiritual message for this, this is your human self and this is your higher self. And what this is this joining together. It's like your human side of yourself, which has this desire, and it's told to look outside of itself for everything that's going to make it whole and complete, right? All these expectations. Look out here for your wholeness, and And we're told, with this expectations, who you're with defines who you are, and what circumstances and positions you're on, like jobs and education, whatever it might be, defines who you are, or what you own, or what you possess, or what your body looks like, all this external stuff. This is what defines you. But the only problem with that, if you're using that to define your worth and who you are, is that people change or they pass away. Situations never stay the same, and things break down, deteriorate, catch on fire, or are stolen. So all that's unstable and ever-changing. So if your worth, you're depending upon that, then you feel unstable, right? Well, this Two of Cups is about when we're disappointed enough, we turn inward. And when we turn inward, we find and we can connect to our higher selves, because there's two of us that are within our body experiencing this life. We have our little human avatar character that's moving throughout that. And then there's the higher self, the powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being that we really are, this actor behind the character and all that. It's a part of us, but it's a very small part of us in comparison to our powerful higher self. But that, when we in spirituality, sometimes they teach, well, you got to kill that ego, you got to kill it. It's like, no, it's a part of us. It's our experiencer. It's the one that chose to detach from, our powerfulness so that we could experience smallness, so we can understand ourselves, our powerfulness, experience sadness and depression, so we can understand what our joy really is. And, so it did that for us. And so instead of trying to kill it, it reaches down because it sees it's suffering. It gives it what it's really wanting, which is unconditional love, and you're able to walk together then through life. And so this really is this, because cups are emotions, it's about reaching out to that unconditional love that is within you, that is you, and looking for that as your source instead of the outside world, and feeling this fear and this pricking of your heart. This fills your heart and makes your heart feel whole and healthy and complete. Yeah, and you got the Ten of Wands. Wands, fire energy. It's your drive, your ambition, your spiritual energy, your aha inspiration. And this also shows that all the energy that you've been investing in your old ways, you are exhausted now. You have been carrying this for so long. All the energy you've invested, you're ready to let this go. You're ready to no longer invest all that energy into those things that no longer fulfill you, those things that lead to disappointment for you. You're just sick and tired of being sick and tired. You're tired of pouring all this energy and all this light into a black hole, and so this definitely is this dead end and this rebirth. You're like, I'm ready. Yeah. And here's the Eight of Pentacles. Pentacles, again, outside world, and this is about you. You've been doing work, you've been making progress, you've been doing things. It's like this apprentice that's working to become a master and an expert. And so this is a card of saying, well done, you've been doing good, you're making so much progress. Don't look at as everything in life that you've experienced, that it was worthless and didn't mean anything. The chapter that you lived is an important chapter. All these experiences, we come down here, to experience. Our human side doesn't come down here, as punishment or running from something. It volunteers to disconnect and come down here to experience all these opposites. So just know that everything you've been doing has been for a purpose and on purpose, even though you can't see it yet, possibly. So just know that it's you're making progress. Keep working in the moment, doing the moment, going through the, doing what you're doing. And then, as you connect to your higher self and connect to that other love, you will naturally start to do things differently and expand things differently. But this is like, I also kind of feel like, with that getting away in that retreat, it's like, you've been doing a lot of work and you deserve a break as well. So, take that vacation time, take that long weekend, take a day off for yourself, especially if you're a parent and you have children and everything else, and you work as well. Sometimes that's the best time you can get a vacation, is by taking a day off. And don't think about, okay, I can catch up on all our chores and blah, 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 blah. No, take a day off, and take a day off for you, where you get all the children off to school and you get all they're doing, but you get to take time away, in doing that. And if you're like, I can't do that, if you have a partner who's working a lot as well, and you feel like you can't ask them to give you a break, say, hey, can you watch the kids, on this day for 2 hours? I'm going to go, just go get a coffee and read a book out in a park by myself. And just, I need a little mini retreat, or even I need a long weekend, whatever is able to be done. And I understand that it's like, no, you might have a partner who is not able to do that because of the job they're in, or just because of where they're at in their life. They may not be willing to do that, and that's okay. There's other ways, you can find other mothers even, or other fathers, depending on, your position in the relationship, right? You can have 2 moms, 2 dads, whatever. And if you, a friend of mine, her daughter, was wanting to be able to have that time, and her husband was going through training, which he couldn't stop doing. And so she found this app and it's almost like you date other moms. And it's not romantic dating, but it's like this site where moms and, do profiles, and you get to meet people in your area, and you go spend time with them, you get to know them, and now, so then you have someone that understands what you're going through, and you have this good sounding board and this good support system. And then you start, as you trust each other, it's like, well, one watches the kids one time, and then the other one then watches the kids and gives the other person time. So there's always, where there's a will, there's a way. Sometimes we just have to search a little harder for it, right? And then finally, the last 2 cards we're going to pick are from these Sacred Creator Oracle. These are going to be the beak of the turkey. All right. Creator, what's your final message for our Geminis that chose turkey number 3, please? Okay, so the 2 here. So your first message is in balance. I love that. And then the other is the sacred flow of yes. So I love that. And that's card number 30. So we'll start with the sacred flow of yes. I'm going to put that down here. And this is, the sacred flow of yes is about movement, ease, things falling into place effortlessly, positive validation and support, and knowing the universe is looking after you. It says, have you ever noticed how happy, optimistic people have all the luck? And how the haves keep winning at bingo while the have-nots just keep encountering barrier after unfortunate barrier on their path? Like a stream of helpful energy, the sacred flow of yes is being where you're meant to be. When you're on the right wave, you are on it. You're on it. You're so completely enveloped in your right vibe that it practically whooshes everything you need right into your lap. It brings a whole lot of easy flow. Yes to a new contract. Yes to a better price. Yes to a dinner date. It's time to act like water and flow around any problems you may be experiencing. You may be forcing your way upstream right now and stubbornly pushing into a dam that's meant to guide you toward a more prosperous path. Like a dead end. Since I know you're not a salmon, there's no need to be swimming into headwaters right now. Instead, flow around the gates of not yet by finding the path of least resistance. The sacred flow of yes is like a river. So remember that rocks are only put in your way as markers meant to nudge you towards your simplest solution, not as challenges meant to be dominated or controlled. And then they have some questions that come with that. It's, is there something you're being stubborn about? What are you forcing instead of going around? What new skills could you acquire to help you level up and get above those barriers? Are you seeing challenges in life as failures when they are really just lessons and guideposts? The universe has a big sacred flow of yes for you. If you could let go of one thing that would make life easier, what would it be? What can you let go of to make your life easier? And then balance is card number 14. And that, of course, is about patience, moderation. So patience, the Knight of Pentacles too, with things unfolding slowly. Patience with that. A perfect blend of activities, a happy balance, purpose and meaning, mixing ideas and people into a perfect brew. It says ever elusive balance. You could drive yourself a little nutty chasing the perfect ratio of work, home, health, family, social life, hobbies, and woo time. And it's okay not to strive for such a compulsive perfection. Sometimes chilling way the bleep out is exactly what needs to usher in some desperate needed balance. Yeah, retreat, chill the bleep out, right? Then again, you may be so complacent that your heart is begging for a healthier mix. And if this is you, and you'll know it when it is, then the universe requires more consistent energy from you in order to deliver your dreams. Regardless of your situation, if you're feeling misaligned and out of whack, it's time to come back to center. Look for solutions and situations that feel grounded and calming. Avoid anything that will tip the scales and suck way too much of your energy, your time, or your money, or that will provide you with too much lazing around time, and actively seek the moderation of tasks and time. Step away, right, from drastic and excessive, and any imbalances that just don't feel right. Consistent introspection to see where you're lacking and where you're lacking energy will guide you to the middle ground that's required right now. Find long-term success through a measured blending of strengths, productivity, and stillness. And the questions for this card are, no one can create balance for you. Only you know it because it's a feeling. How balanced do you feel today? What does a balanced life look like to you? Can you plan a week around this? And are there any self-critical not enoughs that are eating their way into your balance? So definitely love that. Yeah, making sure to taking time away can help you achieve this balance as well, of course. But definitely this is a beautiful message of what you're willing and ready to let go of that is going to open up and open up this whole new type of life for you, right? Really connecting to the love that's inside you, because all these disappointments, these things that need to happen and should happen, are supposed to happen, are wearing you out, and these things that have happened in your life, these situations, you get to question the story that you're putting around it. And really question those opinions of how you're supposed to feel about something, or those opinions on what that's supposed to mean about you. Is it really true? And do you want that to be true for you? You have that power. So loving this. I'm going to leave it at that. And just know, as you're going through each and every moment of every day, you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And I love you too. You have an amazing growth through gratitude moment here, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon. You take care.